Now, let's lift off with a keynote grounded in proof and possibility. Kaspa has reimagined proof of work for the modern age, fast, scalable, and ready for real-world adoption. They call it Kasplex equals MC superscript 2, a formula that could redefine performance on-chain. So, what's next for Kaspa? Let's find out. Please give a big round of applause and welcome to the stage, Kaspador.
Morning, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I would like to say thank you to the Malaysian country, an amazing place. Thank you to Kasplex team, who is here supporting us. And of course, thank you to KEF, Kaspa Ecosystem Foundation, that made this possible as a platinum sponsor. So today we'll talk about Kasplex. And Kasplex is, you'll learn a lot about it. We only have 15 minutes. But this pitch is a highly anticipated pitch because our community is looking forward to hear what we have today for them. This has been, and this is a groundbreaking moment for Kaspa as a whole. And Kaspa is the underlying foundation of our work for Kasplex. So before we start, I would like to do a very, very short presentation of our team. Again, Kasplex is being sponsored by KEF, Kaspa Ecosystem Foundation. And Kasplex is a non-profit organization. We are focused only on delivering the infrastructure needed for others to build on top of Kaspa. So we have in the room the Kasplex team as well. I'll start with Chris, who is our co-founder. He's an active developer on the layer 2 that we will be presenting today. We have Bin here as well, 5BB. He's part of the core team. And of course, myself as a business developer, let's say colleague of Kasplex that is trying to push Kasplex to be widely known by everyone. This is not just a small team. I only presented a few of the people. Kasplex is a larger team. And we have our booth. Come say hi, and we can deep dive more. So let's get into it. So what's Kasplex? Before we talk about what Kasplex is, we need to understand on what Kasplex is being built on. So what you are seeing behind is basically the block DAG, which Kaspa has. Kaspa is a block DAG network. It's not like a blockchain, linear chains and blocks, sorry. It's a block DAG. You can have multiple blocks in the same time, and you have the true path defined by the blue line. So Kaspa is a proof of work. It's a block DAG, as I was saying. It is secure, fast, decentralized, following Nakamoto consensus, and obviously it's scalable. It's so scalable. And 2 months ago, Kaspa went under a hard fork, delivering 10 blocks per second. This means that today, Kaspa is generating 1 block every 100 milliseconds. So this means 10 blocks per second. This is Kaspa. This is the foundation of our work. And Kasplex is bringing Kaspa to life. So let's talk more about Kasplex. We all know that Einstein said energy equals mass multiplied by the speed of light squared, where we like to call ourselves that Kasplex is MC squared, which means that Kaspa offers the underlying technology for Kasplex to build. So it's the mass of our developments. Whereas the connectivity or the speed of light squared means that Kasplex is bringing the technology from Kaspa and delivers a very, very, very fast layer 2 solution. Because Kasplex, at the end of the day, is the foundation and is the organization that is delivering the very first layer 2 built on top of Kaspa. In other words, Kasplex is bringing smart contracts to life on Kaspa. And again, throughout the presentation, Kaspa is the core of our technology, and Kasplex is using that to promote and to bring smart contracts for the very first time in the history of Kaspa to life. So how does it work? Basically, the layer 2 proposed and developed by Kasplex is a based rollup solution. What does a based rollup mean? A based rollup means that unlike any other layer 2s where you need to rely on the sequencer, centralized sequencer on the layer 2, basically layer 2 Kasplex means that the sequencing of the transactions are happening on the layer 1, so on Kaspa itself, and only then the transactions are being executed on the layer 2. So this means that you don't rely on a centralized party to actually sequence your transactions, and you only execute them on the layer 2, on Kasplex. Kasplex already deployed, and we already have KRC20 live, which is a base inscription model, but I will talk about it more in a bit. What we are talking today is the middle one, the zero-knowledge EVM layer 2, that is already live in testnet, and at the end of the presentation, I will discuss and I will tell everyone when we are going to actually go live on the mainnet. And obviously, there is a new VM, but more on this in a bit. So in a nutshell, Kasplex receives the data from the layer 1, executes it on the layer 2, and then everything is happening at the speed of light. This is why we are calling Kasplex as being the MC squared, mass multiplied by connectivity squared. So let's deep dive a bit more. Kasplex, we like to call it being very, very, very fast, frictionless, and familiar. What does mean? This means that, and maybe there is a question saying, just another layer 2. This is just another layer 2, smart contracts again. Yes, this is not just another layer 2, because as I was saying previously, imagine the following. Any existing layer 2 today rely on a centralized party. I wouldn't say all, but most of the layer 2s are proof of stake, built on proof of stake protocols, right? Kasplex delivers the very first layer 2 built on proof of work network, again, which is Kaspa, and it allows the execution of transactions at a light speed interval, right? So I would say highlighting a bit the key components or key messages on this one is like Kasplex introduced today the ZK EVM layer 2, and the core of it will be a native bridge between the layer 1 and layer 2, which means that you will use Cas as the gas on the layer 2 without the need of wrapping, without the need of porting and doing some gimmicks or I don't know, some strange things. You just port your Cas from the layer 1 to layer 2, and you can execute and pay your gas fees directly on the layer 2 using the Cas as gas. It's 100% EVM compatible. This means that, and I like to call this like copy pasta. You can port over your existing dApps from any EVM directly to Kasplex. And you would say again, maybe, so just another copy and paste. No, it's not another copy and paste. It's like witnessing the transactions speed and security and scalability that Kasplex offers via Kaspa. So we all know, so at least in my expectation, when I first heard about smart contracts, my let's say, desire was that those will run flawlessly, without any delays, without any hiccups, and paying maybe a very, very small fraction in terms of fees, right? Sadly, that's not the case. When the network gets congested, when you have hype building on a specific smart contract, you receive this like clogged network, you are paying high fees. I myself paid at least $1,500 running on a smart contract on Ethereum. Nothing against Ethereum, I'm just saying. So at the end of the day, my expectation was that the smart contracts weren't meant to be slow or expensive, right? So what Kasplex is doing today, we are optimizing the speed, optimizing the fees, and doing everything as fast, secure, and decentralized as possible. On the top right corner, you can see this is a small tool that I've built. This is the block creation of Kaspa versus other proof of work of proof of stake. And this is not like like a testing. This is real life information showing every 1 second you get 10 blocks per second. And Kasplex uses that directly. So what can you build on Kasplex? I would like to say, of course, everything. And this is just a stepping stone for us, because the layer 2 that is coming up, and it's already live again on testnet, allows everyone to build everything that they are already well accustomed with. So they can build any DeFi protocols, they can do any NFTs, they can do whatever it's currently out there available, they can do it and even more. And the main difference here is that you are using Kaspa, again, as the underlying network for settling and sequencing your transactions. This is I cannot emphasize enough, but this is a major, major breakthrough for us at least. And this brings Kaspa power to life to everyone. So I was saying previously that we can also deploy a KRC20 inscription. KRC20 inscriptions basically are, if you like, the equivalent of the BRC20, the inscriptions that were happening on Bitcoin. So we launched KRC20 1 year ago. Kaspa settled more than 130 million transactions directly on the network. And on a single day, we had 15 million transactions, real life transactions. I'm not talking about bots or anything like scripting. No, there were real users minting and transferring tokens deployed on the KRC20. Again, 15 million transactions made possible on Kaspa, which is the ultimate, in my opinion, of course, but I'm biased, the ultimate layer 1 network. So again, what can you build? You can build everything. And Kasplex, the main goal of Kasplex is to actually empower everyone to do so. So give it a try. We have the testnet ready live for the last 60 days. We managed 10 million transactions in testnet. You can try it even now if you want. It's just as easy as taking a smart contract, port it over to Kasplex, run it, and see how it goes. And as I was mentioning, I had a very, very short time to prepare the presentation, but this is a short example of some builders that are already in the testnet phase with Kasplex. So as on, I would like to say, on any other layer 2, you have the DEX, decentralized exchanges, you have lending and borrowing, you have aggregators, you have the prediction market. I believe we all know Poly market, right? So there is a team building the Probify. They are building the prediction market on Kaspa using Kasplex as the layer 2. Whereas the Moonbound, for example, it's a platform for everyone to deploy their token. This is like a pump.fun platform being currently tested on Kasplex. A special mention, I would go with the below one, the Cassia app. Cassia, even if it's not built on the layer 2 and it's running on the layer 1 directly, Cassia is a P2P encrypted message that uses Kaspa very fast block time to actually deliver your messages. This means that you send a message in 1 second, the other party has it. And this is built on top of Kaspa directly. And again, this is just a very, very short snapshot of what I managed to grab in the last 2 days. There are plenty of other applications that are being built on Kasplex. These are not like you would like to have an application that is going to do that. This is not the case. These are real-life applications that are currently working on the testnet. So give it a try. See our Twitter, see our page, join our Telegram. We'll be more than happy to guide you through how to connect to the testnet and how to run the smart contracts there. And now, before I close, as I was mentioning, this is a very, very important moment for us. Why? Because the entire community is waiting to learn on when are we going to actually go live with Kasplex Layer 2 mainnet. So we had a small tweet yesterday. I sent a tweet. We will announce this today. In our community was so engaged. We got almost 25,000 views. They are all eagerly waiting to understand when we are delivering the layer 2 on mainnet. Hence, what Kasplex is doing today will make it live as soon as possible, meaning that the farthest that we are looking for to deploy the layer 2 on mainnet is by end of August. So this means that end of August, you will be able to deploy your smart contracts, use Kasplex on top of Kaspa in a mainnet environment, right? So Kasplex is bringing to life smart contracts to Kaspa, and Kasplex is the very first layer 2 that actually achieves this in a short time frame. And as for my closing thoughts, I would like to say thank you so much to the Kasplex team. They've worked for the last 6 months without any break, without any weekends, 6 months, day and night, to deliver Kasplex to everyone. Thank you, everyone.